It's Too Early, Season 3, Episode 10. It's Bree.
It's Lonnie.
It's Nelly.
And we are back with another episode. Today we are discussing siblings, near and far, close and
near far.
All right. So if you haven't listened to previous episodes, you probably don't even know what's going on. So we are on our Family Matters series, and this is the third episode of this series, and we just talking about all things family, dynamics, relationships, all that. Mm-hmm. So I guess we got to start with giving the people our sibling situation summaries.
I guess I can start. So I have one sister. We're 8 years apart, so she's 8 years older than me. It sounds like a big age gap, but to me it doesn't really seem like it because we're literally like the same person. And a lot of the times we either get like, I look older and she looks younger. So they always ask me like, are you the older sister? But our relationship is interesting because we're the same people. We clash a lot, so like we have like those moments where we're like, you know, we mingle and like we joke around and that type of relationship, but then we also have our moments where I just kind of, you know, want to venture off by myself and she just kind of wants to be by herself. But she also has a family, so she has 2 kids and a husband, so that kind of like changes our dynamic because she can't do a lot of things that, you know, I would be able to do like as a 24-year-old. But one interesting thing that we get a lot when people see us together is, do y'all have the same parents? Mm-hmm. Because she's a lot lighter than me. But if you really like look closely, like at our faces, like we literally look the exact same. We're just different complexions. But yeah, that's us.
I have 2 biological brothers, one older, one younger. And then I have this huge god family that are all my siblings that I don't differentiate. Like, I'm never like my god siblings. I just talk about them as my siblings. So there's 9 of us, including me. It's a lot of connected through marriage. And then I grew up in church with the 4 that are actually biological siblings. So that's that. We range from... My sister is the youngest, but only by a couple months, so 23 all the way up to 40. So yeah, it's a whole thing. But yeah, I mean, I literally get along with all of my siblings, family and regular. My brothers, they're my brothers. I mean, I don't really know what to say. Like, we get along fine. There's 5 years between each of us, so it's like 5 by 5.
Is that purpose?
My mother says it was not, but she also didn't want her kids like super close together, so it just kind of worked out that way. Yeah, I mean, that's us. Nothing super intricate or nothing.
So y'all gonna save me for last if I got so I have 1 sister and 3 brothers, but so technically we're all have siblings, but I don't do that. A sibling is a sibling. But we all have, like, on my dad's side, there's me and my little brother, KJ. And then on my mom's side is my older sister, Kiara, Braylon, and Christian. But we just that's all siblings. Doesn't make a difference to me. No one gets treated differently. But yeah, my brothers, we have a big age gap. They're all 5 and under. So that's like... It's like 17 years, I think. I
didn't really think about it.
Yeah, it's like 17 years. So, like, I feel like they look at me more of almost like mom stuff. Like, they don't get that the sibling relationship they have with each other is not the same. Like, taking them to daycare, all that stuff. Like, I do all of that. So, I feel like even though they know I'm their sister, it's not like a brother-sister relationship. Right. It's more like an auntie or a second mom or something. And then me and my sister, that's my ride or die, like, best friends. We live together. We're opposites, so that's why we get along so well. Like, I'm very loud and outgoing, and she's very more quiet. always ready to have fun. So it's really like when we're together, it's really YOLO. Like we can end up anywhere. Like ask anybody, we just be living life together all the time. We be out here, okay? Don't
That's how it's supposed to be.
We do. But you would think we would get tired of each other. Like people ask us that all the time. Like I think we've only been on like 2 trips where like we haven't been together. And people are always like, y'all not tired of each other? Like, y'all live together and then go on vacation together and then y'all be at dinner 3 times a week together, like out, like, but, and we share a lot of the same friend groups, but no, we just, I don't know, it is a little odd, I will admit it.
I don't think it's odd. I think it's
like to the standard.
People aren't like that.
Yeah, like my mom and her sister aren't like nearly as close as me and Kiara, and she's like, I just love that, like, that's my, she's like, I wish that I had that relationship with my sister, but yeah, she's always she's my go-to.
Yeah.
That's that.
Yeah. I feel like me and my gossip, we talk about that all the time. Like, we're always together. Like, literally, I probably was with them 3 out of the 5 days this week. And then we're going to be together again today. Like, we spend weekends together, we vacation. So it's like, and we don't get tired. Like, we don't fight, we don't argue. I mean, regular stuff, but there's never anything like serious. There's no falling outs, and I think people think it's cool for us because we're not all blood. Yeah. So like we can literally get along like that and not be all blood related.
Yeah. I don't know. I feel like my situation is different. Like because me and my sister are so much alike, we clash a lot. And like I just feel like a lot of like my siblings that I do have, like we're really distant, but we all know like our relationship dynamic. Like 2 of my best friends, I consider them my sisters, but like we only see each other maybe like once or twice a year. It's kind of like that relationship. So I don't necessarily have like an experience where I have like those close siblings where they're like my go-to. Like my sister's my go-to, but it's also like not all the time, like, you know what I'm saying? And we also live together, so that has definitely been like a little switch in our dynamic, because it's like we already clashed when we didn't live together, and then imagine living in the same household.
So Nelly, with your big God family, do you feel like you're closer to any of them than some, or like?
I think of course Shayla I'm closer to because we're the same age. So like we just started off as best friends, and that's how I got into the family. So I think we're close just, you know, because we're the same age and because that is my initial connection to them. But I'm super close to Taylor, like, who is Shayla's older sister. Sometimes I talk to her more than I talk to Shayla half the time. But other than that, I mean, I think it's pretty much the same for everyone. Like, I could call any one of them in a heartbeat, and, like, we tell each other everything pretty much. There's no, like, real secrets between us. It's kind of like, you know. But, yeah, I mean, if I had to choose, it'd be, like, Taylor and Shayla. But, no, we all be chopping it up, getting on each other's nerves.
And is there any static between, like, I mean, you have brothers, so it's different. But is there any ever, like, do you feel like there's, not necessarily times when you have to choose, but, like, times where it's like, okay, I have to pick between siblings right now, or essentially families, because you have 2 different families?
There have been times, I feel like, not between my brothers per se, but like my parents would be like, oh, she off to her second family today. Like, I mean, but you know, they love them too, so it's not like I'm not close to them because their parents and my parents are close. That's not how, you know, like most people would be like, oh yeah, our parents were close, and then, you know, It's not necessarily that. Like they grew up in the church together, but they were never like super close. So I don't know, I don't think necessarily static, but I do feel like sometimes I have to balance, like, if I'm spending too much time over, like if I'm not home and I'm spending too much time and I don't know what's going on in my own house, I'll be like, okay, like I need to spend a day here. But my family don't be doing nothing anyway, so they just be talking really. But for my brothers, they don't care. I mean, no, they don't.
It's funny because, like, I can see them.
Yeah, like they really have no feelings towards it at all. I can always like bring both sides together, but They never are like, oh, can I come over? Da, 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 da. But they would have, like, neither side would have no problem if the other side was, to randomly come around or something. So, yeah. Not much static.
So on the topic of brothers, like for Bree, do you feel like, do you wish that you had like older brothers?
I did want an older brother for a long time, but I think that just comes from like the fantasy of like, having a big brother to protect you. Like, I'm gonna get my big brother on you. My younger brothers were like not playing. So like that came out the cut, and especially I had a really hard time when my dad told me that he was having another child. And that's because like I've been a daddy's little girl since forever, like, and I was 16, 17 at this time, like you a baby. Like I was really like no, bro, I was like really shook, like, why are you doing this to me? Like it actually like created like some static in our relationship, in me and his relationship, because I'm like, I'm supposed to turn 18, you're supposed to be moving to Florida, like, what is this? You're supposed to be, But there's nothing I would change. Like, once KJ was born, after all that, just, it's all talk after that. Like, it was different with my mom, because I already had a sister, so it's like her having more kids was just like, more kids. But like my dad, I definitely had, it took me some time to come around, but I love him so much. Like I wouldn't change it. I would never wish like he wasn't here or anything. Like
So did that make y'all's bond like stronger after KJ came?
Yeah. Well, at that point, by the time KJ was here, like I was pretty much grown. So I spoke about it in the previous episode that me and my dad really just have more of a firm relationship now. And I don't necessarily know if it's because of KJ, but I think that kind of was bound to happen anyway, just as I transferred over into adulthood.
So we've talked about like love languages and stuff last series. Do y'all feel like y'all apply the same kind of thing in your siblingships? I mean, for our older siblings.
I think so.
Yeah, I think so. Me and my, when I say we're like literally identical, like our love languages are identical. She does not like touchy-feely. She's not an affectionate person. She's more like a quality time person. She likes people to like sit with her and like watch. She watches ghost shows and documentaries and like crime documentaries about like serial killers and stuff. So like she likes for me to like sit on the couch and watch like TV with her. Like that's her definition of like quality time. Or like eat dinner with her and like have drinks with her and stuff like that. But like we're definitely identical when it comes to love languages. Like we don't even give each other hugs. We don't hug each other. Like we don't.
Well, me and my sister don't hug either. Like
that's just weird.
We don't really hug.
There are no hugs in my house.
Yeah, but yeah, I feel like me and my sister's love language is probably quality time, but it's quality time like we're always doing something. So like creating memories and like being able to be like, you remember when like we was really at the bar doing this and the third, like. So I would say quality time definitely, but yeah, physical touch wouldn't be a part of that conversation.
Yeah, that's so interesting. That siblings. Well, I'll take that back. Me and my god, like when we walk in the room, we give hugs for God siblings. But my regular siblings, we don't even walk in the house and say anything. It's literally we just look at each other. Like it's not. We literally don't say anything.
But I think it's older too, because like my little brothers, like they get hugs and kisses. They're little, so like it's different.
Yeah.
That's funny.
You were supposed to answer that. Oh, that was your answer to the question.
I
I was the answer. Skip over it. So like, okay, this is an interesting question because people have best friends and stuff. So like, are your siblings automatically like your go-to in a sense? So like for your weddings, who would be your maid of honor?
I don't know if I would make my sister my maid of honor. Like I don't know if I would. I don't really know what the reason is behind it. I just don't see my sister as like my maid of honor. Like when I'm in for her wedding, I was just a bridesmaid. Like I wasn't her maid of honor because we don't have like that relationship. And I feel like if she was my maid of honor, she would just get on my nerves and she would just automatically just be bumped down to bridesmaid. But like my best friend, I would make her my maid of honor over my sister.
That's good that y'all know that about each other though.
Yeah.
And y'all don't get offended. It's like, you my sister, you gonna be here anyway.
Exactly. Yeah.
That's funny, because without a doubt, my sister would be my maid of honor. Like, don't even have to ask.
Yeah.
Like, she's already, like, mentally preparing to be my maid of honor. And I would expect to be hers. I mean, I'm sure I would be. But.
Yeah, because, well, I don't have a sister, like, biologically.
Yeah.
So, because, like, that's my best friend, Shayla would automatically be my maid of honor. Do all of them have to be my bridesmaids? Probably. Like, I probably have to include all of them.
So you would have a big party.
I would have a huge party. But
there are 9 of them. So you would. So it's 9.
4 girls.
Okay, well that's not
That's not bad.
Yeah.
But then you'd have some of your other friends,
Right.
I'm sure, that would be in it. But
Yeah, I just have a big wedding.
would your husband be required to have the men?
No,
siblings?
that's completely his thing. Like if they were to just grow close, which is ideal. But if they were just, to grow close and he was like, hey, can, we do that, then boom, perfect. But no.
But it wouldn't even be a thing if it was like he picked one sibling and not the rest.
No, if you created
Is it like all or none?
Yeah, no. If he created a relationship with that one sibling, then go for it.
Now, would they get offended though?
No.
Okay.
Especially because they would know the relationship between them. So
See, my brothers are little, so like I don't plan for them to be grown when I get married. Like I'm thinking maybe like they'll probably be like 8.
Yeah.
8-ish. So like they probably be incorporated in the wedding, but they wouldn't be like groomsmen or anything.
Yeah.
I have a whole bunch of ring bearers.
I was gonna say that.
Ring together now.
I had some flower boys, throw some. I don't know, because then I got some
confetti boys.
Yes, because I got some godchildren.
Oh, I do got a flower girl. I didn't even think about that.
Your godchild?
Yes.
Oh yeah. So, like, what if you didn't like one of your siblings, like, significant others? Like, would it, because I know that we talked a little bit about this, like, as far as, like, friends, like, if you didn't like your friends or, like, your, whatever, significant others, but does that change for siblings?
Yes.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah. Like, they just flat out don't like you. Like.
Oh, I was talking about me not liking them.
Oh.
I mean, both ways. We can talk about both sides. Like, what if you don't like their significant other, and what if their significant other doesn't like you?
Then you has to go. Me and my sister spend way too much time together. But I will say, so my sister's boyfriend is Aries too. His day, our birthdays are, I'm the 30th, he's the 31st. So like, my sister's clearly drawn to our type. So I can't hate on the Aries. I can't. Like, we literally, like, we click. So I do think, like, after the initial meeting him, if I would have been like, no, he gotta go, like, I'm not feeling his vibe, that it would have some weight to it.
Oh no. It barely has weight. But I feel like it does make it awkward. Like, Shayla, no, I'm gonna put her business out there a little bit. She has brought some ones around that the whole family has been like, heck no. But Shayla does not care what we think. Like, she be like, okay, I accept that, but I'm still gonna give him a chance.
Right.
So maybe she won't bring him around as much or whatever, but she be like, whatever, let me give him a chance. Cause she know we could be a tad bit shady. But it's because,
Yeah, people can grow on you though.
Yeah, so this current one, and Brandon, I mess with you now. But in the beginning, I was like, whew.
It's a little auntie.
Yeah, I was like, oh Lord, but he's grown on me, and I feel like he's fitting right in. So,
Okay.
yeah.
So D is married. So how was that?
So when she first brought Tyrell around us, I honestly don't even remember when she first brought him around us, honestly. But I think as time like went on, he kind of like grew on me a little bit. We're not like super duper close, but because we all live under the same roof now, our relationship has gotten like a tad bit closer, but it's still like, okay, you're my sister's husband, like I'm her sister. I'm not gonna, to me, I just don't feel like I should have like a close relationship with like him.
Is that just like, is that him specifically, or just the fact that he's your sister's husband?
The fact that he's like my sister's husband, because like there have been like certain occasions where she'll like ask me like, oh, do you want to go out to eat with us? And it's just like, I don't really like, y'all are married, and I don't have that type of relationship with him to
so
just
you've
like,
never done anything with him and just you?
No.
That's weird.
You think it would be different if it was if it was your brother and he had and it was his wife?
Yes.
Yeah.
I think it'll be different. I think it'll be it's a male female thing. Like to me, I don't have not the desire, but it's just not in me to have like that type of.
I see that. Like, you know, me and Marty have been together for almost 6 years, and him and Key have never like done anything exclusively like just them two. Like if she needed help with something or something, like I know she'd ask, but then again, like me and Joy, who is Marty's sister, for those who don't know, we do stuff, like us three do stuff all the time together, like just us three, or like me and her talk offline. When me and him weren't together, me and her were still talking. So like that's like my bonus sister. So literally it's like me and his relationship and then me and her relationship. Like they don't overlap. Like one can exist without the other.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah.
That's absolutely how. So my oldest godbrother Melvin, he got married a couple years ago. And Patrice fit right in. Like it's like she's a sibling at this point. And literally our relationship with Patrice is completely aside from Melvin. Like we don't care what Melvin got going on. That's our sister. That's our sister. That's period. But I will say though, I think that it's kind of the same. Like even with Brandon, who is Shayla's boyfriend. Like I've given him a ride to places, like that kind of thing. So we've had like separate conversation. Like it's okay for us to be in a room and Shayla's not there. So not that it's a requirement for our family, but like I do think it says something for we look for that in like our significant others. Like, can you sit in a room with our family or do stuff with our family and us not be there? So like, not that I mean it's a thing for us, honestly.
Yeah.
But like, how often are you in that situation too? Like,
Pretty often.
Where it's just without the person?
Yeah. Like, I mean, but because we are very family oriented, one, but two, like, we are not the type to coddle our significant others. Like, it's cookouts. We be all over the place. So like, it's so much going on all the time that we just can't be like, oh, concerned about if you gonna, be over there by yourself or whether you're gonna, integrate into the group. So it's a lot of times we're like, Shayla will be somewhere else and Brandon will be there, or, in the beginning, Patrice, was with the parents and Melvin was elsewhere.
Yeah.
So it does happen a lot.
I meant like,
is it like intentional or is it like just like in a family?
No, like it's just in a family.
No, I thought you meant like.
You were like
by themselves. Like they weren't even in the building.
No.
Like, that's why I was like, dang.
I mean, there have been times where like Brandon's just been at our parents' house and Shayla has not been there. Like it's been those kind of times. But it's because we're comfortable enough. Like Brandon's comfortable enough, Shayla's comfortable enough, the parents are comfortable, everybody's comfortable.
Yeah.
But it is something that we like. Are you able to do this? If not, it's a little weird because we're just always together.
I mean, that's understandable. Like, just being able to like be in a room with like the rest of the family without having to be cling to like your significant other.
And even in my regular household, like I want my father to be able to call you and say, "Come over here and do something," and I'm not. No, I may be out of town. Like I want that type of thing. So that's
not come over here and do something.
No, for real. Shoot.
Put him to work.
I'm sorry. My future man's gonna be put to work by me, by my family, by my golf. Like that's just we are those type of people. Like we're always doing something and for each other at that. So it's like you ain't gonna be sitting around lazy around here.
Yeah.
Not just doing anything.
I can't imagine not being close to my siblings, and like y'all know, like I haven't seen my KJ like in a while, and like being away from him for that long is so weird to me. Like I'm not accustomed to that at all. I'm used to seeing, like I live with my sister. I see my other brothers like honestly 5 times a week because I take them to daycare, I take them home. And like yeah, it's just really weird, and it just like, you know, I'm not gonna get into it, but like people are cruel for absolutely no reason, and I just think like there's no reason that it should have been this long since I've seen my brother. Like it just really puts perspective into you, because you like think like, you know, why would people do that, or like people not that off, like they not, but they are. Like people just be trying it. They be trying it
all the way.
With people, like it's so backwards. Like when people want to be in a child's life and they want to be active and be a part of it, and you just purposely take that away just to be spiteful.
Yeah,
it ain't right.
That reminds me. So I forgot to mention, I have another sister. Like that, I literally just remember, because I don't like, I've never seen her, I've never met her like personally. What? I have another sister on my dad's side. That he had a child before marrying my mom. So she's older than me. So technically it's me, I'm the youngest, then my sister, then my other sister. My sister actually, so my biological like sister that I live with, she actually met her like some years ago in person. But I think from what my understanding is, I think the situation when my dad had his other daughter, the mom didn't let him know that it was his, or didn't let him like see her, or whatever the case may be. So he always knew, he just didn't tell us until we got like a little bit older. And I'm not sure why he didn't allow me to like meet her, or like take me to go meet her, but he did take my sister to go meet her. And she did say that she was nice and everything like that. But I just don't know if I would necessarily reach out or try to reach out to her to form a relationship with her. I'm just not sure about that yet. I feel like a little iffy about it.
So your sister doesn't keep up with her either?
No, my sister doesn't keep up with her.
Is that like, because God forbid, like y'all do share the same dad, so like if anything was happening, would she come around? Like,
and that's crazy, because me and my sister had that conversation with my dad, because we were like, okay, like God forbid if something happens to you, like is she like in your living will, like that whole like dynamic. So we would ultimately have to like reach out to her to figure like that whole arrangement out. And I don't know like what type of person she is. Is she gonna be like, well, he my dad, so I'm gonna take everything and I want everything? Like we don't know.
So what did your dad, is she in it?
He didn't say.
Oh, okay.
He didn't say whether she was in it or not.
Do they have a relationship? I know he knows like about her and stuff, but do
they don't. I'm not sure if they currently talk. But I know that they have had like conversations like years ago. When he reached out to her and like started talking to her. But I don't know if they like currently talk right now.
That's interesting.
It is.
Yeah.
That can get real sticky.
Yeah, real sticky and messy. So I don't know. I feel like eventually we'll probably like take that time to reach out to her just to kind of form some type of like friendship at least with her.
Yeah, no, I think that would be good. Like have another sister. So she's older than Dee, right?
Yeah, she's older than Dee.
She grown.
I think she's only like, a couple years older than her, maybe. I'm not sure.
Okay. So she's probably like 10 years older than you.
Yeah, something like that. Like 10, 11 years older than me.
Okay. Well, y'all, that's our family. Yeah. Those is our siblings.
A little more about us.
Interesting.
It is interesting. Well, with that said, season 3, episode 10 is a wrap.
It's a wrap. Bye.